Delighted to open this week's 3 hours of wall-to-wall IFA coverage with our friend from IFA, from Messe-Berlin, the parent company that puts this show together, among others. The IFA Global Brand Manager for IFA is Dirk Koslowski. Dirk, welcome into tomorrow again. How are you, sir?
Fine, thank you. Thanks, Dave, for being here again.
It's our pleasure. We're very proud that we have been here for 15 years now and seen the incredible growth. I mean, the show was always a big show and was always an awesome show. The right time of year, because it's before the holidays, which is when folks are looking for, what do I buy for gifts? You know, what do I want for gifts? And that sort of thing. And it's the perfect consumer electronics and home appliance show. 10 years of home appliances now in this show as well.
Yeah, that's right, absolutely. And honestly, you are one of the partners which are really witnessed the major steps IFA has done in the last couple of years, including, of course, going in and from a biannual in an annual rhythm from the year 2005 into 2006. That was a very significant step for us in terms of more internationalizing our activities.
That's true.
And step 2, of course, was integrating home appliance devices, major domestic and small domestic appliances in 2008. And so, yeah, this year we are indeed celebrating the 10th anniversary of this. But you surely know, besides Albert Einstein, we have some other anniversaries. For example, 50 years ago, you're probably not mentioning this before, 50 years ago, in 1967, the first introduction of color TV has been made here on the show floors during IFA. And
Chris mentions it in This Week in Tech History and our IFA updates.
I should better know this, of course, because he's the expert.
So he's the tech historian.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But that's where I heard it on our show about that. But that's true. That was 50 years ago.
Exactly, and in premiere in Europe. Yeah, so that's the positioning of IFA, and I think so far we are doing even not bad this year in terms of announcements for the global markets.
Not bad at all. That's an understatement, because you've had some great keynote speakers. Of course, we have highlights from the keynotes on the broadcast as well, and great IFA Plus Summit. Tell folks what that is all about, because we had last week, this week, even next week on the program. We're extending this to 3 weeks of coverage because you guys have so many cool things to talk about. Great speakers from the IFA Plus Summit too, where they talk about the future is here in Berlin.
Absolutely, it's an energizing format. Honestly speaking, we have so many senior VPs here on stage, which are talking about the future of mobility and healthcare. And what's the striking point at the moment is this, in combination, embedded into our new technology showcase IFA Next, shows how the entire engineering community is ticking, and we are bringing especially these guys together with the researchers, the developers, and of course many startups, more than 120 startups from more than 20 countries. So it's really a lively format, and we are very proud of it.
As well, you should be. Way too many to even have on our show in 3 weeks worth of coverage, because there's so many here, and we thank you especially for helping put our broadcast booth, our broadcast center, here in the center of IFA Next, which is the edge of innovation. And happy to have been a part of these startups and these companies, yet surrounded, as I'm looking out on the show floor, by IBM and Amazon and other big companies, and the networking that they're doing, which warms your heart to see these small companies that may in some cases struggle for getting their products known, making these kind of connections with big companies and now working together. That's what it's all about. That's truly a trade show.
And you know, Dave, as we are knowing that you and your team, especially Chris, are looking for such a technology truffles. We wanted to put you in the middle, like a spider in the net. So it's a perfect fit. And if it turns out really at the end, if it turns out to be as positive and as successful as wished and promised, much better.
Oh, for sure. And in fact, that goes a long way. When you talk about innovation, you talk about cool new products, and the way that you formulated this to be kind of the hub of this excitement, whether it's products available now or into tomorrow, and some on the floor we're seeing that might be 2 or 3 years away from production, but they have the concept, they've got the funding, now they're doing partnerships. It's all very exciting. And then IFA Plus Summit sometimes goes 5 to 10 years from now to really forward thinking. And that's kind of cool. I mean, some of these things, you sit in the audience and go, wow, this is fascinating. We're going there.
Yeah. And normally, and that's exactly the point. If it comes down to IFA, our trade visitors, our experts, our, let's say, media representatives, they're just showing what's new in the market for the next upcoming business season. Yeah. So it's the ready-to-buy product. Yeah, and that's 95% of all the products you will see here on the shelves. But the rest of it, of course, is now technology.
Yeah.
So it's that's really the first premiere this year. It's a brand show, a pure brand show this time, according to innovations.
Yeah.
And next to it, in parallel, we have a second show running in Berlin at a different exhibition site covering 20,000 square meters for the entire OEM and ODM supply chain.
Gotcha.
And that's really new.
Yeah, so that's where buyers and others can work with other manufacturers and put their labels on things. And
that's purely B2B, honestly.
Yeah.
That's
absolutely. Yeah. But the coolest thing, I think, one of the coolest things about IFA is that you invite the public to come in. And as this show always includes a weekend, it's fascinating to watch families come in and see cool new products, see innovation, see things, especially in this IFA Next Hall, that might be available to them in the very near future. They get so excited about it too, and that's what it boils down to. It's us consumers. You know, it's great to have us media weirdos and other journalists and buyers and analysts and whatnot, but it's about the consumer in the long run. How does this benefit all of us? Does it help our lives? And they see these things.
It's indeed an outstanding mix of 140,000 trade visitors plus 100,000 consumers.
Wow.
So, and that means if you can emotionalize some new products and some brands with consumers because they're happy to touch some new products, they're happy to figure out how something works and what's probably my next business model for retailers.
Yeah.
It's much better if you bring all those people together and create in buzzy environment, and that's what happens here, and it looks pretty good.
And they have great input for version 2 of whatever that product might be as well, because we see these analysts off to the side, and families are asking questions, and why is the button there, and why is it here, and why don't you do this, and they're making notes diligently.
Exactly. If you're clever as a retailer, you have to realize, wow, these are the same question I probably will hear a couple of months later in my shop.
Yeah.
So they have to be very active and very flexible, to pick these points up, because they want to save their business model for the future.
Awesome. Well, Dirk, always a pleasure to have you on the show, and of course a pleasure to be here at IFA. And if you are in the consumer electronics or home appliance business and you're not at IFA, you need to be, by all means. So contact Dirk and his team at ifa-berlin.com. All the excitement is there. And of course, don't forget to watch the video of all of our radio interviews this week from Berlin and last week. If you missed any of the broadcast, and even some we're bringing back for next week, so many people to talk to, so many cool products to share with you, then hit us up at intotomorrow.com. Check all that out, including our highlight video every year from IFA. And this year, not to be outdone, we've got all kinds of fun things to share with you. Don't miss a minute of it. Thank you, Dirk.
Thanks, Dave.
We're back with more.
Glad to have you here.
And glad to be had. the next 3 hours of Into Tomorrow, bringing you all the folks on these, well, I wish we could say all, 1,800 plus exhibitors. We couldn't do that in 6 months of broadcast, but some of the awesome excitement and new products and services here at IFA. Into Tomorrow continues. Don't go away. We're back with more from Berlin, Germany.